As the footage here was captured on a large 4K screen, text is rather small, please watch this on a device suitable. These simulations are very information intense, hence the high resolution requirement. In this zoomed out view, we can see a large number of sensors, radars, and satellites. These are the U.S. early warning systems, such as the space-based infrared sensors and other early warning systems. Notice the pin display mode, where each item is shown with a pin to its relative ground location. This becomes very relevant later as ballistic missiles are displayed. We can also see the range rings for various radar systems, missile defense systems, and trajectory predictions for space-based objects. Notice that all these assets are U.S. assets and simulated with their appropriate sensors and capabilities. This is relevant because we will view this simulation later through a sensor view, so we only see what is available by sensors, and when it's available with sensors, with the data possible to derive from it. Ukraine in this scenario only has the target buildings in Dnipro, while Russia only has 2 ballistic missile launchers and the associated missiles. What you see here is the placement on an industrial site of Dnipro and the open street map as map layer. I am not sure if this is the correct site, but it does not really matter for the sake of this video. The Russian launch site is the one in Astrakhan Oblast, the Kapustin Yar missile test range, approximately 100 miles east of Volgograd, formerly known as Stalingrad. As mentioned before, we are having a sensor view as standard, and we do not have a sensor there, so we do not see the missile launchers. To confirm the location, I have quickly turned on God's Eye View, showing the 2 launcher vehicles in the Kapustin Yar test range. I have turned on the very detailed street map layer and will now enable start of time. Notice that while it is normally to 1x time, I will ensure to stop and start depending on events. I will also use time acceleration to 15x. Notice how the launch will happen quickly after time is on, and how the U.S. space-based early warning sensors almost immediately pick up something. We can see there is not much information there initially, except that there is something, or 2 things to be precise. But as we continue to progress time, we will see that more sensors will pick up the objects and be able to qualify its speed and altitude. Notice how it quickly becomes spotted by Royal Air Force Fylingdales in Scotland, part of the ballistic missile early warning system of the U.S. military, at a distance of over 2,000 miles. We also have added the ANFPS 132 Block 5 radar in Qatar, where one has to assume that the data collected there is also available to the U.S. Space Force. This will also have been able to track the launch. As with many ballistic launches, we can see that the initial phase, boost phase, is not making a lot of way toward the target, but instead is moving the missile almost vertically at insane speeds. A curious fact of ballistic missiles is that if longer-range missiles fly only a shorter distance than its maximum range, they are flying very high and are impacting likewise almost vertically. We can see that this missile here will be more than 2,000 kilometers up in space and not having crossed much land in its travel towards Ukraine. You will later see that the missile, upon re-entry, will show a similar behavior. It will already be over Dnipro city, but still over 100 kilometers high at obscene speeds, coming down almost vertically, as also seen on video evidence. Here you can see the vast distance at which the U.S. early warning systems are tracking.
Putin, desperate trap, nuclear brinkmanship, army headquarters gone, nuclear threat. that is left a bluff.
Shortly after reaching apogee, the missiles are now crossing the border to Ukraine. The missiles are traveling at 2,700 kilometers altitude and rather modest speed. As the apogee is the slowest part of the flight, the missiles will now continue to pick up speed drastically down towards Earth, peaking at over Mach 25. And there we go. This is the oops moment. I forgot to set the doctrine of NATO missile defenses to not engage. We are now seeing something that did not happen in real life, but as it turned out to happen in the simulation and provide interesting food for thought, I figured I will not rerun the simulation, but will show what happens. The U.S. missile defense site in Redzikowo, Poland, decided that it has a shot at intercepting the missiles. It shows that it fired more than the two initially assumed by me, and that they engaged the incoming threat. However, these missiles are very hard to intercept, so not all threats were destroyed. We can now see the extreme speeds and impact angles employed. As the simulation does not have the special dummy rounds, we will now witness an actual impact of 300 kiloton nuclear MIRV. Make no mistake, Russian nuclear threats are a sign of weakness, not strength. There is no reason to give in to Russian demands. Now is the time to be even stronger in support for Ukraine. With that, thank you for watching and enjoy the music and rest of the video.
Putin, desperate trap, nuclear brinkmanship, army headquarters gone, nuclear threats, all that is left a bluff.
Desperate nuclear brinkmanship, army headquarters gone, nuclear threats, all that is left a bluff, a bluff. Putin, desperate at nuclear brinkmanship, army headquarters gone, nuclear